On behalf of me and the fellas for Crew Golf, we would like to thank our sponsors listed below for helping us make this dream come a reality. Episode 15, the U.S. Open is now. We had a week off. It was our union-mandated week off after 14 episodes, but we are back.
I was on strike. Don't let him lie. I was sitting out front of his house.
On strike. U.S. Open is now, currently. It's the first round.
I'm currently watching my two favorite golfers, as of right now, play golf. So,
yeah, the level of excitement that we can't hide from Colt's face right now is extremely being hidden somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah, gross. To all our listeners, gross. But yeah, what you just said Bryson made a putt, so he's gonna go up.
Yeah.
So he'll be.
Well, it's a 3-footer, but I expect him to make a 3-footer in this.
Sure. Let's catch up. So there's some things to talk about in the golf world.
There is.
So what? I mean, there's been how many? Well, there was a few. There was a couple tournaments. I'm starting off with the news that was most recent. There was a couple tournaments that Rory got to play in luau of a divorce, and he didn't play so well.
There's a lot on his mind.
I mean, yeah, but like now, as of what, 2 days ago or something, everything, they're gonna try and work things out and everything else, and now our man is tied for third. And he's -3 at the U.S. Open. So,
on a very tough course.
Mm-hmm.
Just let anybody know. Yes, the leader's at 5 under, but that means he had a hell of a day because these greens are not friendly, and the rough is not friendly, and there's very narrow fairways.
I did see a picture of the U.S. Open. I can't remember what hole it was. It was what it looked like in 1999 versus what it looks like now. And boy, it's like, man.
So, in all honesty, coming from being not much of a golfer before March, not really watching much golf besides like the Masters every year for like the Sunday, and whatever else, I didn't realize there was 10 Pinehurst courses.
Yeah,
and they just chose to play this one.
Yep.
What's the difference? Like, why don't? Because I guess not all the courses look like this then.
No,
they're all on the same. They're all on the same. Is it plantation?
Yeah, basically.
And they're just 10 different courses of Pinehurst, and they all have a different layout.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. Personally, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's 180 holes out there, basically. No, I think it's every year. So every year, I believe. I mean, obviously, the U.S. Open's every year. Every year they decide a different, like, I want to say different course, but like it's not the way to phrase it. They choose a different 18 every year. Keep things fresh, keep the layouts different.
Now, I heard, sorry to cut you off here, but I heard that they actually changed some holes just for the tournament, though. And then it'll go back.
I mean, that I don't know.
Because, like, apparently, like, the 18th green is where the shop is at right now, usually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming they changed it to make it longer. Because, I mean, there's only 2 par 5s, though, on the whole course.
Well, yeah. I mean, I looked at the scorecard this morning when I got home and I was eating breakfast. But, yeah, I noticed there's only 2 par 5s, so there's gonna be I wouldn't say lower scores, but scores are going to be somewhat lower because obviously there's not
as many par 5s to try to get eagles and whatever else. which is already hard enough to do in the first place. It's just odd to see only two.
A lot more. I think so. I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna look at the what's it called again? Here it is, right here. I have it here. So yeah, the par fives are
like 5 and 10, right?
5 and 10. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So there's it looks like to me at least 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there's just more par fours is what it is. There's only 4 par threes. So you got 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Yeah, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and it's just par fours the rest of the way.
And so the par fours are not short. Just letting you know right now. There's
4. I'm looking at it right now. 400, 500, 528, 582.
For a par 4?
No, that's a par 5. Okay. My bad. Sorry.
I was like, no. Hello?
So my bad. I was looking at the grill, the 4 and 5 flip. Let me see. 436, 486.
The ones that are over 480 or 470 is pretty wild. That's pretty long.
470, 489, 384. That's a short par 3. Let me see here.
As you say that, Bryson was 8 yards from the green on that one, off his tee shot.
Gross. Yeah, 476, 523. That is a par 4. And 435. That's just listing them all off.
Excuse me? 523?
523 for a par 4, yes. And I'm reading that correctly.
So that's not a bad putt by Xander. Listen, I'm going to be honest, too. Watching today and some of the practice round stuff the last couple of days, video clips of how
Yeah.
Nobody is, chipping the ball. If they're near the green,
they're putting it.
They're putting it because they're not able to, you're not getting the back, the checkup is not happening.
Yeah.
And if you go past the hole, you could be going 40 yards past the hole because it goes down the hill.
I saw a clip online. Someone was putting, and it's this is what they're walking into, and now mind you, the shot. I'm gonna lay it out for you. The shot the guy was looking at, the entire green was uphill. He was here chilling, and the up, and so he goes to putt it, and you think this guy hits it. He looked like he hit it pretty well because he got it to the top of the hill,
and then it just
got to the top of the hill, and yet apparently, even though he got the hill, it was like this. So he got up here, and it didn't matter because once it got enough momentum, it just brought it back down anyway. And it's dude, no wonder these guys aren't chipping because
I sent a video to the boys, and I was like, "This is how hard the course is going to be this weekend." And a guy was standing pin high, and all he did, from his knee just dropped a ball,
and
it just rolled all the way down the green, off the green into the sand trap.
It's disgusting. And it's the only thing you can do is assure yourself that you how do I phrase this? You have to make sure that you elevate because landing down is going to help, but you have to elevate without backspin.
The spin, yeah,
that's the hard part. It's Jesus.
So it's been a pretty wild first day seeing people do the things that they've done with the ball. Rory's played really well, being able to keep the ball on the green, I should say. I will say that they're taking nobody's taking aggressive, super aggressive lines because they don't want to mess up.
Well, yeah.
Also, wouldn't want to mess up, obviously.
Well, yeah. So I'm looking at the stats for the course right now. There have been only 10 eagles on the day.
2 of them coming from the same guy. By the way,
nine of which are all on the 1 par 5. So that 1 eagle out of the 10 has only been on 10. And let me see here. And
it's
10
it's a guy
and 10 is
under.
the 10 is the 619 long par 5.
Yeah, whoever I can't remember what his name. He's 4 under because he's the only one who's
Ludwig.
No, maybe he's 3 under, but he's the only one who got eagles on both of them.
Yeah, His last name's Pavon. Pavon.
Yeah, Pavon. Yeah, that's it.
He eagled both. Matthew Pavon. Doesn't say. This guy is what, French?
Yeah, Matthew Pavon, something like that.
Matthew Pavon. It looks like it probably. I mean, it looks like it's spelled like Matthew, but it probably is.
Probably is Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's French. Is that French?
Probably.
French flag? What flag is that? I think it's French. So he's a French golfer. So
And there's another amateur in the top 10 too. Well, there was. I think he's off of it now. I think he's at 1 under now.
Who? The only amateur I'm seeing is tied for 20th. Actually, I'm sorry, correction. There's 2 tied for 20th. 3 tied for 20th as I'm scrolling up. One is... I have no idea what flag that is. Hiroshi...
Not him.
Hiroshi Tai, he's 1. 2 is... This guy is Gordon Sargent.
He was 2 under a couple holes ago.
He's even. Okay. But he's even through 13. And then our boy Neil Shipley, who was playing with Tiger and everything earlier in the year, he finished even. He finished even 70.
Is there a reason? Like, he's not amateur anymore. How's he still? Because he's still in college.
It says he has his amateur little A next to his name.
That's a long putt for Bryson for birdie.
He's an amateur.
That'll get you. And now that I'm like watching this here, that'll for sure get you, to where you're at in the tournament when you're 12 for 14 on fairways and greens.
Who is that?
Bryson DeChambeau is 12 for 14 on fairways.
I mean, I will say this. So I think with
McIlroy is 4 under now too.
I want to talk about Bryson real quick because I feel like the guy. I know he's like one of your favorite golfers. I feel like the guy got a bad rep for going
early.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I mean, hey, I think he got a bad rep early on because they, in lack for a better words, thought he was a douchebag. And he wore the flat, the French hat, or the French hat, and people hated the fact that he wanted to be whatever. Apparently, he wasn't. Again, I'm going to be just. I don't want to say that he was because I don't know. Obviously, I don't know him as a person. A lot of people said he was like an asshole in college, per se, and whatever else. And it was tough for him, or people didn't like the way he carried himself on the golf course. He leaves PGA to go to LIV, and he gets even more hate because he goes to LIV. Ever since he's gone to LIV, though, he's became like a world. Like, everybody's starting to love who he is because they're seeing that he's just fun, wants to play the game, and smart.
So I feel like, and this is where I'm going with it. I feel like that the guy has made decisions based on how he feels and how he feels and what he believes is what's best for him. So, like, with the whole what would you call it? Oh my God! Oh, the 3D printed clubs.
Yeah,
like that's one. It's like, well, you know what? The guy, like, he's had 3D printed clubs. Okay, all right. Wouldn't that suggest that he's taking more of an interest in his clubs? And that immediately makes me recall to the fact that, like, Tiger Woods, he was having, back when Tiger Woods was playing immaculate and no one was able to touch him, he was having, like, some of his mill guys that work for, like, when the club companies he was playing for, he was going and he was going, hey, I need you to sand, like, I need you to, like, grind off a little bit back of like, he was literally going in and having the guys grind off some of the back of the bounds of his club, like the cavity back. He's like, because there's just too much. What's different than that than Bryson having his clubs printed to the exact measurements he wants? Nothing's different to that. So so it's like, all right, well, there's one. 2, the guy goes to LIV. the guy goes to live because he wants to. And like you said, he was getting, not say negative hate, but like people thought negatively about him. So it's like, why worry about the hate I'm getting here when I could show people, who I am on a worldwide level.
Going to live for him was, I think, all about the money.
Which is not a bad thing.
But no, I mean, how many guys? I mean, listen, one guy was #1 in the world when he went to live, and he didn't get like people were like, oh, why would you leave the PGA Tour? Dustin Johnson was like #1 in the world whenever live, or one of #1s in the world when he was top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
and he leaves, and everybody's complaining about how he left, but then like the younger guys do it,
and they get hate for it.
Oh, they're not established enough to go do that if they don't want to.
What does that mean?
If I'm getting offered $15 million
and I'm not established, and I can still play golf, and I can work on things.
Mind you, Bryson's also a major champion before the hand. He won the U.S. Open in like 2018 or 2019 or something like that. So he has a major championship under his belt. You can't say he's not established enough.
No,
he just wasn't placing well enough for people to like notice him anymore.
Sorry.
So he is. But then, like, now for somebody who watches him on YouTube consistently, the way he breaks down golf, for me, in a standpoint, being new, he breaks down golf like it's like golf for beginners or like golf for dummies or whatever. Like the book. But his ability to like, he'll tell you, oh, I need to do, what is it? Like he'll be like putting, and he'll be like, oh, well, there's a 10-degree slope right here. My club needs to be, I need to hit all my club here with the slope at this pace for it to even break the way I want it. Like he's breaking down every bit of the shot. And like, that's what, I'm not going to sit here and say I hated him before, because I didn't hate him before, but it's made me realize how much effort he puts into like wanting to win or be great at golf.
He puts effort into it it's not the analytics, that's the wrong term. He puts his effort into, obviously, shooting his shots and playing everything else.
That's the physical form. It's like the mental form. He puts form.
He puts it into the mental side of things, and not just like mentally preparing, but like learning about the physics of golf.
Yeah, like
and you can't.
He putts weird. People think he putts weird, but if it works, it works. I
mean, what's it called? They were saying that 3 weeks ago about Xander. Like Xander putts weird, so it doesn't matter. So my overall thought is this, and this is what I was going to correlate it to. They say that Bryson, blah blah blah, everything about him, but like we just said, he focuses on the physical side of things, but as much as well as and I say physical, also the physics side of it as well.
The science,
yeah, golf. Perfect, yeah, the science behind golf, or the science into golf, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that shows the utmost level of devotion toward it, because Absolutely. you could go through and you could learn everything physical, and you can try to perfect your swing to the best of your ability, down to the minutest muscle memory, making sure that it's where it needs to be. But like, until you take it to the point where you start learning about like the science behind it and everything else, like, that shows like another, again, he's reached another level of devotion to the game.
With what you're saying, with the devotion to the game, like referring back to the YouTube, like he's playing with, I think it's Martin Borgmeyer, which is a long drive guy.
Yeah, I know he is.
So he's playing with Martin Borgmeyer, and Martin's like, okay, in this situation, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm 120 out. That's my 60 degree. I mean, whatever degree it is, because he hits the ball way farther than everybody else.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's my 60 degree, but at 120, that's and the way my positioning of my feet with a 27 degree slope, I have to hit this ball at like 87% of my swing for it to get where I want it to land and roll out or backspin. And I'm like, that is insane that he can break that down to like from top to bottom exactly the way he wants to.
It's just a matter, and it ends up just coming down to a matter of execution. Which, I mean, if everyone could execute what they wanted to in golf, golf would be easy. So
exactly.
The point I'm trying to get to is that the level of commitment that he's put into and everything else, it reminds me. And I hate to use this comparison, and I'm not saying that he is, but his level of devotion to golf reminds me of, again, arguably my favorite athlete ever is Kobe's devotion to basketball, because Kobe learned so much about everything to where it was like, oh my God, this guy understands the sport on a different, understands basketball on a different level. I think Bryson's getting to that point where he's starting to learn golf at a different level. And then eventually it's getting to the point now, I firmly believe that he's starting to win people back in golf, I think.
Yes.
While again, there are obviously going to be some people that are going to hate him for, going to live and everything else. Like eventually if the guy I'm not saying going winning like the Scotty's winning, but if the guy starts winning and putting up numbers, and I've been putting up numbers, like putting up scores and everything else. If the guy starts winning and he starts putting out rounds of immaculate golf, how can you hate him? You can't hate a guy you can't hate a guy for performing well at golf. Like,
I've tended to go towards the younger players in golf. I mean, he's 30, so he's like, some people are getting their tour card then.
Yeah.
Like, they've done their Corn Ferry for a couple years. They're finally getting a tour card. He's had a tour card for
a while.
And Max Homa, same way. I think he's 31. He's just recently getting his tour card, not too long ago. And I say young, but I'm talking more like young in the sport in general.
Like new to the tour, not new to
the sport. Like Colin Morikawa. He's, 4 years now, maybe, on the tour?
I think he's got more than that, but yeah, okay.
But we're talking like he's now starting to get the respect.
Yeah.
He's grinded his way to the position where he's at now. But I just don't see why, like, the older generation of golf doesn't like, because golf is evolving now, and we see that
faster.
We see that at Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Like that's a party. Scottsdale's a big party.
Have you ever seen? Okay, I'll tell you this. If you have never seen it, go back and look. And you want the purest definition of evolution in golf, as far as evolution in golf as a watching sport, like from a prospector's side of view. Go back and look at Tiger Woods hitting a hole-in-one at Scottsdale, 16. Go look at...
Like what, in 2002, 2004, something like that?
I think it was in the 90s, I believe.
It was not the same, I'll tell you that, because I have seen that video.
It's insane that it's like, wait, that hole... You look at that hole, it's like, wait, he just aced 16 at Scottsdale? And you look around, it's like, where's the stadium? Because now you go into that thing and it's entirely engulfed. There is no, look at the terrain in the background.
Oh, you have to literally walk under the stadium.
Yeah,
to get
come
to
out.
The hole.
Yeah. So it's like, you look at it and you go, that right there just goes to show you that in 26 plus years, you can see how the game has evolved in a sense from a viewership standpoint.
And I'll say this too. As shitty as COVID was, my language, golf is now where it's at because of that time frame. Because you couldn't do anything, so the best thing you could do was go play golf.
I mean, you could. Yeah, I mean, yes, to the point where,
So people started picking up golf because that would get them out of their house.
Yeah, okay. I can see it from that point.
And I'm not saying like that, but like if people started getting the attraction towards golf, and now the younger generation is starting to see. Like, I wish I would have started golf 7 years ago.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Because if I start golf 5-7 years ago, not saying I would be on the tour or anything, I'd be playing, but I would probably try to
be a lot better.
I would try to play like solo tournaments by myself at like some, at some places. I'm not ready for that yet, obviously, and I know that.
I mean, you again, like you said earlier today, you started in March.
Yeah, I mean, started in March, and I know it was a scramble, but we finished, 7 under, 6 under, something like that. I mean, should have been better. Playing conditions weren't 100% great either.
March.
But we're like I'm at a point now where like I'm starting to fall in love with golf to the point where I'm getting mad that I can't play golf.
Oh yeah. It stinks when you have we've gone on. It stinks that we've had our hiatus from it to where it's like, man, like, and I hate this. And there's that, the shots that keep bringing you back moments. Yeah. You also have those moments where it's like, when you're away from it from a while, it's like, man, I wish I could just play golf for a living, because then you'd be happy. But then you realize it's like, no, you wouldn't, because then you'd go on those streaks where you have your bad golf and you hate golf.
And that's, I hate it. Everybody's going to get there. I mean, I'm going to get there at some point where I'm just like, golf is just not my thing. I mean, I'm watching a guy who has probably made $15 million this year playing golf look absolutely horrible on the golf course today at Victor Hovland.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, and again, his missed shots are minuscule to the amount of missed shots that I would be making.
Oh yeah. And let alone he's got more I want to say shots in his bag that he can use than we could. So the guy's got more tools at his expense. Yet, like you said, he's playing crap. Like he's playing terrible golf at the moment, and it's like he has more tools to use, and he's playing bad. It's like that's not, and it's not to say like he's not using the right tools or whatever. It's like we don't have those tools at our expense. Not saying that if we did, we'd play better, but it's like,
no, I can't walk up to a shot, right, and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna slice this to a max.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot do that.
I'm gonna slice this to the max so I can get this around this tree and get it to the. But he could walk up to it and, who knows?
He can walk up to it and know that if he has to slice it, he knows how far he can slice it.
And his caddy knows exactly what the hell is going on, too.
Exactly. So it's like, these guys that do that, it's like, it's insane that,
on that same topic, I played in Warrenton this past weekend for a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
We finished second.
Okay.
Whatever. I was, talking to Drew about, is it weird though that like these caddies are so smart, they spend so much time doing this. Do you think some of these caddies could be on the tour and they chose not to be because they feel like they'd be making more money being a caddy because they don't know if they perform under the pressure?
Well, and I think
apparently Tiger Woods' caddy was like very good at golf, but chose to be a caddy instead because he didn't know if he was going to be able to.
Well, that's the thing that we were talking about with Joel Damon. How we talked about how like his caddy is just as good as he is, and it's just for some reason Joel just plays better.
And without even trying.
And yet you have these guys, and I don't think it comes down to the mental side of things. I just think that it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's just the natural ability of it may be that way. And as opposed to, and it may be the mental side where it's like, man, I feel I played really good, yet there's people that played better than me. may be the hard part, or it could be because I don't think it would come down to, because you got to think, like we said, the caddies, they go out there and they do their homework and they know everything else. If those caddies can do that then if they do it for themselves, they should be able to, you would think they'd be able to do that. It may just come down to the simple fact that, like,
their swing isn't great enough.
Yeah,
they don't have the distance. They don't have.
They may not have They literally just may not have the ability to physically strike the ball as well as other people do. So, I mean, and if you think about it, it may come down to, like, their financial situation as well. It's like, well, why not be a caddy for a few years, make some money, and then go try and do it? Like, I'm sure someone has, but
I mean, if I'm Xander, or if I'm a Scotty Scheffler's caddy, I'm doing it. I made $20 million this year.
I mean, you made $20 million this year, but do you have the ability to play? Do you have the ability to play to where it's like, well, I want to go after it, or do you just continue to be his caddy? Here's the $20 million question. If you're his caddy, I'm sure for a fact that he's made $20 million this year, and I'm sure he's got a dope setup in his bag at home and everything else. At what point do you say, I want to try to play for something on my own and blah, 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 and you quit as his caddy?
In the off season, whenever he's not golfing, which is probably never, like.
I guess, but
because you have the U.S. tour, and then you have the EU, you have
the
European tour. I mean, I'm assuming Scotty doesn't go play all those. He doesn't want. Like, he could probably go over there and play those
if he wanted to. I mean, yeah, why not? But I don't know. I feel like once you, not once you, but like if you're in a position where you can make that kind of money by being a caddy,
all you're trying to do is help a guy decide what golf club to use.
At what point do you retire or quit from that?
When that guy retires or quits from it.
Exactly. So it's like I feel like being a caddy for a PGA Tour level golfer has to be, like, not say winning the jackpot, but it's got to be an easy job if your golfer's making money. Especially like we just said, because if the game of golf is evolving in viewership and everything else, you have to assume that the game of golf is evolving on a business level where more money is coming in, which means more money coming in means higher purses and everything else, which means by extension higher money for caddies. So, I mean,
yeah. I mean, these caddies are making
a solid career.
These caddies are making more than Tiger Woods made winning all the championships
back in 1999. And that just goes, that just puts on more for our thing about the whole evolution of golf, where there's just more money involved.
Also saw a video the other day. Pretty cool, in my opinion. I did not know Michael Jordan had a golf course.
Oh, you know that?
No, it's literally called 23.
So, yeah. Okay. So I've heard things. I've heard and seen things about that golf course that supposedly, because he designed the course from scratch. Supposedly the course is made for, I mean, obviously it's his golf course and everything else, and you have to get a private invite to go. But supposedly the course is made for Michael Jordan. With the way that he plays golf, where the, like, obstructions and sand pits are, or sand pits, I don't know why I just said sand pits, bunkers and trees are, they are placed where Michael's swing, they would never come into play. So, like, oh, dog leg left. Okay, well, Michael's swing goes this way. All the bunkers are going to be over here, even though on a dog leg left, Mike, like, he never goes into the, unless something random happens.
Listen,
imagine having the amount of money where you can design a golf course where it's like, well, I usually hit the ball on the left side of the course a lot, so we're going to put all the obstructions on the right.
Just because you can.
Because you can. And then you make the course so extravagant to where everyone wants to play there and blah, blah, blah. insane.
And the other thing that like makes me like, which is so funny, is obviously you have to get an invite to go play there.
Mm-hmm.
Some YouTube channels have gotten the ability to play there, and I'm assuming. I mean, I know he's good friends with Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm assuming it's probably really funny to like watch people who are very, very good at golf play the course and just shoot 30 under, basically.
I would love. It would be so cool. I mean, if like, and not for the sake of what's it called, just for pure entertainment value, to see Michael and Tiger play at
For money?
No, I don't even care about them. I mean, they could privately decide that or whatever.
Just like a match.
Literally just to do a match of play. Because, I mean, obviously, Tiger's probably going to kick the shit out of him as far as golf goes. But, like, I wouldn't ask Tiger to play MJ one-on-one. But it'd be sweet to see. It would be sweet to see, like, their conversations and everything else for 18 holes, but at Michael's course.
Yeah. It's really funny you say that. You don't know if he would beat him. Funny story about that. Xander played.
Yeah, I saw it.
Tiger Woods.
I saw that. Yeah,
and he lost.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I go. So you know how good he's got to be at golf to beat a guy who just won a major tournament.
Yeah,
and who's on the top of his game. He's number 2 in the world right now.
Yeah,
he beat a number 2 in the world in a 3-hole match.
Yeah.
He goes, he birdied every hole. And then he goes, what made me laugh so hard is that he was like, his caddy was like, would you talk shit to him? And he's like, yeah, but that doesn't help you. And then the guy goes, crazy how whenever you start to talk to him, you start to try to talk smack to him, he becomes better and becomes locked in. I go, and that's exactly why I'm gonna hurt some feelings here. He's the greatest basketball player of all time.
Oh yeah,
he didn't need anybody's help.
No,
if he wanted the last shot. Everybody says, "Oh, what about Kerr?" And first of all, he drew the play up for Kerr because he knew he was going to be triple teamed. What's the point of me taking the shot whenever I'm gonna have a wide open guy over here
who's known to be a shooter? Why not? Yeah,
like you can talk to him all you want. It's going to make him better.
Yeah,
he's a winner. He's a winner. It doesn't affect him.
Yep.
So I would love to play golf there. I would really like to see. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but there's a lot of people talking about how Paynes Valley is very tough.
Oh yeah.
Maybe seeing like a tournament at Paynes Valley or something.
That'd be sweet. I will say this, so I have news. So I've heard the process of what's it called, but not to not make you envious or whatever. But next May, I'm playing Pebble Beach.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Booked the thing and everything with a buddy of mine from work that like I've golfed with before and everything. Playing Pebble Beach next year in May. 3-day weekend. I will get all the footage. I will try to get.
That's gonna be BA. That's gonna be BA right
there. What's it called? There's Pebble. We're playing 3 courses. Pebble Beach. Oh my god! Off the top of my head, I can't think of it. It's something Cove, and then there's also like the Pebble Beach, like not the Pebble Beach. It's like
the lookalike one.
It's basically like their public course.
Yeah. So, listen, if we play Pebble Beach on PGA, I'll beat you.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. Because my thumb up and down ability, it ain't there.
I've heard it's one of the easier courses to play, though.
I wouldn't know. I guess I'll let you know.
I'm saying on the professional level, like it's one of the more easier courses for them to play.
I feel like it's probably the most it's one of the most researched courses. I feel like, 'cause you got to think like as well known as that course is, I'm sure the research has been done on it to where guys are like, I'm ready to go play there because I've been studying that course all year long. So
or you're that good at,
or you're that good. So, but yeah, no, yeah, I've been wanting to tell you that news. I was going to tell you in person, but I figured, whatever.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Also, guys, content will be back. I promise.
Yeah.
We're just
we apologize for the recent lack of it.
Life has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wes works a lot.
Too much.
I have kids.
So
conflictions.
And then, like we fully intended to play this weekend, but it's Father's Day this weekend, so.
Well, we were going to set a tea time for Saturday morning to provide you guys with some content. And everywhere we looked, there was 0 places.
So, we'll get back out there. We'll take care of everything else. We'll be back.
100%.
We are back.
We are back.
We're getting Doug back. So. But yeah, short and brief. Let me see. You're watching live. I am not watching live.
Yeah, I think Homa's,
yeah, they're -4.
Homa's even.
Yeah, Rory with a chance to tie. Bryson with a chance to be leading at the end of the day. So
Bryson is putting for par right now. It's
I'm hoping my guy at 6, Tony Finau, makes a push tomorrow. That's what I want. But yeah, that's it for us. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back next week.
Absolutely.
Buddy, I can't hear you.
Yeah? Yeah?
No. Are you messing with me? I think he's messing with me.
No, I'm not messing with you.
Listen, I'll say the goodbyes here. Just say I can't hear you, bud. You're out. I don't know what it is. I can hear the Nope, nothing. All right. Well, on behalf of Colt and I, no, I can't. On behalf of Colt and I, I'll say goodbye for all of us here. And F you, San Diego. Later, everybody.